Hi Anti-Society, welcome back to the Anti-Social Planet, and today we are checking out Gahyeon's solo Playground. Now I got a little hint of this when we were going through the This Is Gahyeon series where she sang a little bit on a radio show or something. I got just like a tiny hint of what this is going to be, but I'm super excited to hear her voice on its own. I've heard that this is a really cute one, and I don't know if I can take that because Gahyeon on her own is just super adorable. Like it's one of those things where like it almost makes you angry. You know, like there's the cute aggression almost comes out with it. So I don't know if I am fully ready for the special clip of this song, but we're gonna check out the lyrics and production and vocals and stuff first, and then we'll go and watch the special clip and see what kind of storytelling we have, and hopefully I don't completely miss the meaning like I did with Cherry, but it could happen. So let's go and check out the song first with the lyrics and all of the production and vocals and stuff. Let's see what Gahyeon has for us. Okay. I shouldn't be shocked anymore, but their music. Love that layered vocal. I love swings. Not important to this, but oh, okay. Couple of things. One, super playful, very like minimal production right now, so I'm interested in the chorus when it like drops what's gonna be in that. But I almost feel like that's a nice reflection of this because Playground has a lot of like childish connotations to it, and then talking about all these different things about being in the sand and on swings and that kind of a thing that's very, you know, they're child activities, childish things. So having a more simplistic production I think really fits with that because it's showing the simplicity of a previous time, right? Where it was just playful and it was finding joy in simple things, and then having the more minimal production really ties those two concepts together. But I also love this almost call and response between the single vocal of Gahyeon, like the main vocal of this, and then the like layered accompanying vocals that are obviously also her voice, but there's this feeling of this call and response between those two. So just some really interesting things happening so far with the way that it's put together. A little ooh, ooh in the back. It's almost like when I was talking about the two vocals, the call and response, it's almost like the single Gahyeon vocal is almost like putting herself back into the memory, like it's from the perspective of a younger self, whereas the layered vocals are almost like from the perspective of her now, because it's like, I want to remember this, I want to protect it, I want to cherish it. It's almost like two different perspectives on these memories. This is the part that I heard. Okay, before we get more into it, I love the feeling of like drawing. We've had some imagery of that before, of like wanting to draw something, bring art as a way of expressing how they're feeling and stuff. I'm curious to know, like, are any of them like actually visual artists as well, or is that just something that they tend to draw from? Because no pun intended with the whole draw thing there, but they tend to like just use imagery of like visual arts as a way of expressing themselves, even though it's through music as opposed to like actually through the medium of visual art. Because we've saw that with, I think there was a little bit with Cherry, and there was definitely some in one of their songs. Maybe it was Fairy Tale. I want to say it was from Apocalypse Follow Us. It's come up a couple of times, so I'm just wondering if that's something. But I like the idea of drawing being very another child activity. I feel like lots of us draw when we're younger, but then once we get older it becomes like an actual hobby or interest or something like that. We feel like we have to be good at it as opposed to just drawing because it's fun, because we want to bring our imaginations into the world. So I think that that's kind of where she's pulling with this, is she wants to like draw it in the sense of like, let me show you what's going on in my head, but also it's a picture, right? It's like, how do I capture this moment so that I can cherish it. Like she was saying before, I want to cherish it, I want to protect it, I want to keep this memory. So how do I take a picture? And the only way to really take a picture of your imagination is to draw it. So I love that. I also love the little repeated, it's almost like she like has the vocal melody of it where she starts at a lower part and then kind of lifts up a little bit, and it has this little upward lilt to the whole vocal melody, which has a playful feeling to it with the repetitiveness, but also has that kind of hope and joy. It feels almost like skipping, you know, like because it's repeated. That's what it makes me think of, like the vocal melody of skipping, which is also a very childish thing. It's also just a lot of fun. Ooh, I'm like listening to a little bit of the production now. The little guitar little riff there, it's almost like we have some brass maybe? It might be a synth that's close to a brass instrument. There, it might be like a synth brass instead of like a actual one. I love that little countdown. It's almost like the kind of countdown you get when you're actually like in the recording studio and you have to like count the beats into like of a pause before you actually start singing or the music starts up again. I like that being kept in here. Ooh, that's a fun piano too. Aww, I can't wait to see that part where she's like, is it true, in the special clip. I bet that's so cute. Is it true? I love the little descending synth sound too. I love the little guitar, it's so like funky. Okay, before we get into the bridge part, just want to touch on like her vocal. It's a very like soft vocal, which I've kind of picked up, I think, in some of the stuff before this. She does have the capability of like digging a little bit more into her chest voice, so I know that this lighter sound, it might be deliberately for the song because it is very light and playful and it's supposed to be that way. Very much like, not to over compare, but I only have one other solo to really pull from. Same with like Jiu's Cherry, where she was deliberately kind of bringing more of that breathy, lighter sound because it was a lighter, happier song, as opposed to some of the more powerful, punchy parts of like the more rock inspired feeling of some of the Dreamcatcher singles. So I feel like she's deliberately using a softer vocal here, but I also think that it's just where her voice sits a little bit nicer. Same thing I said with Gio. I think that that's kind of where their voice naturally sits, as opposed to some of the more powerful vocals, the more like mixed vocals. So I think that it fits really well with the sound though, especially with something that is very like pulling on childhood and innocence and stuff like that. I don't think it would have made sense to have something that sounded really punchy and belty, right? Like she might have a moment where she shows off a little bit more of that because I know that she can, but it does feel like having that softer sound feels more nostalgic, right? She's very much pulling on these memories and showing how they bring her light and lift her mood and stuff like that. So it makes sense to have that lighter sound to go with it. Oh, love the guitar work in this. I love main character in a comic. I love that. Of you should talk about drawing again. So comics are like telling stories through drawings, but also there's this feeling of like being powerful and adventurous, and comics are a way of really exploring lots of different genres and ways of storytelling. But a lot of the time, the comics tend to be about like being heroic in some way. They're being adventurous. They're these larger than life main characters a lot of the time. So her saying like being that main character of like, I want to choose this like larger than life character and pretend to be that, and I get to be that person for a little while. I love that. It's such a childish thing of like not seeing any kind of boundaries. Like even though you understand that something's fiction, you still think I can be anything that I want. I can do anything that I want, which is like something that you kind of get more anxious about the older that you get. It's like, seems like my story, like, you know, like being the main character. Production on this, like, I love what she's doing with her voice. It's like these little moments. She, like I said, she had a very like breathy sound, but there's these little moments at the end of words and phrases where she's tightening up her vocal cords. So I've talked about before about the difference between like what breathy voice is and stuff like that, but breathy voice is very much like loosening up your vocal folds, vocal cords, so that more air goes through, right? But she's doing this where she compresses a little bit. She tightens up her vocal cords just a little bit to accent the end of those words and phrases. And it's kind of like what I was talking about before, where she had this like upward lilting vocal melody, you know, that has this feeling, this playfulness of like skipping. So having that little bit of tightening up with the vocal cords at the ends of these words and phrases is, you know, kind of emphasizing that vocal melody, but adding something different and adding a bit of energy into those, you know, as it's the last chorus that we're going into. See, there's you just a little bit of tightening there. This is gonna be such a cute special clip, I can feel it. Oh, that descending synth is really cool too. Oh, I can definitely see why people think that this is, like, have told me that this is going to be a cute one, because if she's kind of pulling on those childhood memories and stuff like that, I could totally see that that's the direction it's going in. But let's just check out the special clip. Okay, let's just let the cuteness come at us for what this special clip is going to be. Her smile, though, it's so adorable. I think she's literally skipping. The pout. She has mastered it, hasn't she? The eyebrows, though. I can't do this back and forth. Oh, were those pictures of her when she was younger? We gotta go back. Look at her. Same smile. Cute. I feel like it should be a counter of every time I say cute when talking about Gahyeon. Oh, I love the bounce with the vocal.
Is it true?
Oh my god. The little, is it true? Just so cute.
Is it true?
You can see the one like backup dancer like trying not to laugh. Wait, more pictures! Oh, I love that it has like her now and then pictures of her when she was younger. I think this might have been a tiring shoot because you're just like have to have so much energy the whole time. The little poses. Oh, I love that where they were like, because of the sound of, I think it's like a bass, and they like kind of like swing in, and I think like the focal point is towards her, the music. Love that. Little wings. Her smile. Oh, cute. My face hurts from smiling again. That was such a cute song, like the whole thing. I totally understand why you guys were telling me that this is like another cute one after Cherry, that I just, my face hurts from smiling. It was adorable. It's such a fun, light song. There's some really like nice guitar moments and some vocal melodies. I feel like there was a lot of really good like storytelling in the way that the vocal melodies were put together. I loved getting to just hear Gahyeon's voice like on its own. I think that that's probably my favorite part of going through the solos, is just really getting to know their voices and how she has this like softer, lighter sound in the song. Even though I know from seeing some of her other vocals in other songs that she can have a more powerful vocal, but I like getting to see what their vocal styles are like individually, and I'm just gonna keep smiling. Like how many times did I say cute or adorable during that time? I don't know. I feel like if you put it with the This Is video as well, it'll be like too many. I'm gonna have to like find new ways to call someone cute and adorable as I get to know more and more of Gahyeon, because I feel like that's just gonna be my default the whole time. Even though someone told me that she doesn't like being called cute, I apologize, but I can't help it. So I hope you enjoyed watching that along with me. You can click this playlist to go see my previous reactions, or you can subscribe so this next time I post a Dreamcatcher video, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!